Right, good morning everybody, and welcome to another interview conducted by Msunduzi Hospice. Today Neera, one of our patients, one of our daycare patients, has consented to be interviewed. We've explained that the interview will be put on YouTube and possibly be used as part of the Patient Power Project. So I'm going to ask Neera just to say a few things about herself as we start our interview this morning. Neera, thank you so much for your time this morning, and thank you for agreeing to be part of this program, or this project. Can you just say a little bit about yourself, talk about your illness and the journey that you've undertaken so far? Yeah.
My journey actually started in 2007 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and they said it's the second stage, and they advised me to have it removed because sometimes it does cause complications. And I had it removed. I went through my treatment. I was fine. And in 2018, I had a gallbladder problem. So I went into hospital, and from there one thing led to another, and I was diagnosed with 4th stage cancer of the stomach and the stomach lining, the ovarian cancer and the lungs, and it took a long time to be diagnosed. And eventually when I got in for treatment, they said it's too late. Nobody wanted to do an op for me because they were scared. And I don't know, maybe it was God's will that grace really worked on me, and they inserted pots in me for drainage, my lungs, my stomach, because I used to fill up with water. And every time they drained like 10 liters, 12, 8, I lost that amount of kilos. So I was gone like, I can't explain, from being 108 kilos to 48 kilos and not being able to walk, not being able to do anything. My children, my grandson used to help me to the toilet, carry me, do everything for me. My family used to bath me, and I had a lot of friends that were always there, my neighbors. And I was so lucky that in 2020, in the lockdown, they decided to do the op for me. And I had the op, and from there, it was like one after the other, my road to recovery. But in between that, my friend met me, and she introduced me to hospice. And Jenny came and saw me the first time. And after that, it was visits from all the nurses and their encouragement and always being there for me, visiting me in hospital, because I was like in hospital quite often, sometimes for a month, sometimes for a week. It just depended. And when I went in for chemo, they were always phoning to check on me. And there's so much that I can't explain, that in that few months, that with all the nurses that I went through, I don't know if I can mention their names.
Please do talk about them, yes.
There's Brenda, there's Maggie, there was Lorraine, there's Joan, there's Letitia, and there was Ben visiting me, and the ladies that I met at daycare, as I got better, when I started going to daycare, I tell you, it was a real journey for me, a real journey.
So Neera, all these names that you've mentioned, some of them are nurses. Letitia is one of our social workers. Ben is one of our memory workers who works with parents and their children. So all of this assistance has benefited you. So how have you felt in yourself about your illness and the work that and the services that you've received from hospice?
I'm telling you, there's no words to explain that, what everybody has done for me, especially, like them coming and visiting me, sometimes twice a week, sitting there and talking to you and giving you that encouragement and telling you that don't give up.
Yes.
Don't ever give up on your life. Don't ever. And I've taken all that. And sometimes I just sit there. I used to sit there and just think of it and cry. And then I say, hey, I'm going to start daycare as I get stronger. And I first went into daycare. It was such a pleasure, like everybody just welcomed you. There's not one person that never spoke to you. Everybody was there, coming and talking to you. And I remember you coming in, giving us some speeches and all that. It was just too nice.
So as your health improved, so you joined the Msunduzi Hospice daycare program, and you've talked a little bit about that, but obviously with COVID last year, March, April, we had to close the daycare program. How did that closure of the daycare program make you feel?
Sad.
Sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
But with not going there, sometimes my daughter, I tell her to take me for a visit to visit the shops, and then I come in there and make sure I meet one of them and talk to them,
Yes.
so I know. And like the lady in the shop knows me so well at the crockery place, and the other lady, I don't really know their names, but they're always there to encourage you, to talk to you. Especially the lady at the crockery shop is very spiritually, she's very encouraging. You have a conversation with her and she's very, very encouraging.
Fantastic.
Very. But I really miss daycare, and it so happened that 2020 when I went in for my op, and then I realized we're not going back into daycare. It was
Yeah. So we don't know when daycare is going to start again, unfortunately. And it is a great joy that you are able to pop into the offices occasionally and meet the care team and Letitia, the social worker, and meet some of the other ladies in the shops and elsewhere in the organization. So the hospice has had a big impact on your life. Do you want to talk just a little bit about that impact?
What can I say? With meeting them, I've actually I wasn't a person that just could talk, I was a person that was very quiet and, not able to talk in public. But once I went in there, meeting everybody, like Sheila and all these, they gave me that courage to be a bit more brave, that I could talk, because I heard some of the ladies talk about their illness, and I never ever spoke about it. But after I went into daycare, now I talk about it. I can say that I've got the encouragement to be able to talk in public and not be that emotional. When I look at other people that were so sick, and now I got that courage to talk about it, because they always tell you they talk.
As we come to the end of this interview, if there was one or two things that you want the viewers of this video to hear, what would be those one or two things that you want people to know about your experience?
My experience, as I say, it was a challenge. Take each new day as a challenge. Don't ever think negative about yourself. Always be positive. Think about the next day, what's going to happen. Face it. And as I tell everybody who's had cancer or any other illness, don't ever give up on your life. Don't ever, ever, ever give up. It's better to talk about it, explain to people. Doesn't matter whether you say the same thing over and over, but talk about it. It makes you feel good, that sometimes you can help somebody else by talking about it and helping them. It's just stay positive about the whole thing. I've been through it. Nobody thought I'd survive it, because I had an episode where on a Sunday morning everybody thought that was it. And everybody was at my house. And the next thing, I was up and about. And sometimes I just thank God for that Sunday, that I think He was there and says your journey is not at an end yet.
Sure.
You still have to go on.
Wonderful.
Yes. And I'm telling you, I'm a bit emotional,
Yeah.
but just stay strong. Just not think about the cancer. Just think you are normal and face each new day as it comes.
Neera, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And on behalf of all of us at Msunduzi Hospice, thank you for being part of this interview. Thank you for sharing your story and how the work that we have done has helped you, sharing about your strength and your resilience in the face of this illness. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for making us feel very welcome in your home this morning.
No
And
problem.
we'll let you know when this video is available and hopefully give you a copy of it.
Okay,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.